Hey everybody, welcome to the iJuice360 podcast, episode 7.0. And this episode is just me. Derek might be joining me later, but it's probably just going to be me for all of this. So, yeah, I'm just going to go run down the lineup of stories we have for this episode. First off, we have the iPhone 4G rumor/breakdown story. Not going to go too in-depth for that, just the kind of lost and found part. The Apple iPad 3G starts shipping, clam case for iPad, Android is looking into Flash, or looking into getting Flash, iAds are starting to get underway, where to get good iPad cases, and then finish off the show with listener mail. So first up is the iPhone 4G stories. I'm sure everybody has heard by now that Gizmodo obviously found this iPhone 4G prototype. So I'm just going to basically skip the whole thing because we all know what happened. I'm going to kind of skip into the part where how it got lost. First, is this real? Is the iPhone real? Probably. I don't see why it wouldn't be. I'm sure Apple didn't purposely lose this because they never do stuff like this. They usually like to surprise people with their new products. So, yeah, the guy's name who lost it was named Gray Powell. First, before I even go into this, I don't think Gizmodo should have released this guy's name and all this stuff. I believe they released his Facebook page, and I think it might even have gotten his Twitter out there. But I know, guaranteed, they put out his Facebook page. There was really no need for that. It was in a bar, so I'm sure everybody was somewhat drunk. So it was obviously an accident. He didn't mean to leave his phone there. And then after that, it just got into not bad hands, but yeah. I'm not much of a Gizmodo fan myself. I'm into Engadget, but whatever. So yeah, Gray Powell is a guy from Apple who lost it. It says here on Gizmodo's site from the lost article here, it says the only real mistake would be to fire Gray in the name of Apple's legendary and impenetrable security, breached by the power of German beer and one single human error. So, like I just said, there's not really too much of a reason to fire him. It was a simple accident, but that simple accident had a huge consequence following it. But the guy who actually found it wasn't the guy from Gizmodo. It was just a random guy, I believe. I think because the guy here, the guy here sold the iPhone to Gizmodo for $5,000. I guess since this was in Cupertino, California, Apple's main headquarters is obviously out there, and I guess Gizmodo was also out there. So I'm sure he knew that these big tech companies are out there, and that he should probably pass this on to somebody, but get some money in the meantime. And I believe now these guys at Gizmodo are kind of facing criminal charges, nothing too severe, because it kind of gets messy as far as legal things go on how they acquired the phone. But the guy who initially found the phone, he kind of said he kind of regrets giving it to Gizmodo or selling it. He says that now, if he would have known this would happen, he would have really put a good effort into contacting the police and getting this returned to Apple. Because if he would have known this is what it would have led to, he wouldn't have done it. This is not a huge deal, but it is kind of severe for Apple, I guess. So, as far as design goes, it obviously looks different. The back, I'm not too much of a fan of. I really like the plastic glossy finish that the current iPhone has. This one looks like it has a matte finish, but who knows? This is, again, a prototype. They could take out the front-facing camera if it doesn't work right. It could change things on the design. because obviously this hasn't been confirmed yet, and this hasn't been released yet, so they could take out stuff, and we wouldn't really know yet. So, not really too much to get our hopes up about. I'm sure we won't be seeing all of this on the new iPhone. I think if this was what it's going to look like, or if this is what it's going to look like, I think the iPhone's kind of maybe gonna lose some of its pizzazz, I guess. It really does look like a Droid type device, or just kind of like an average cell phone now, if this prototype does follow all the way through. So right now, the current iPhone design really makes it unique, kind of almost makes it like a super phone type thing. But yeah, you can go check this out if you just go to Gizmodo, and I'm sure everybody's already heard about this. So basically, don't think they should have put out the guy's name and all the info like that. It was a simple mistake, just cost a lot of consequences. And the loss thing, I do believe most of it. Nothing really not to believe. The $5,000 thing, I'm sure he did sell it for $5,000. Kind of don't blame him. I'm sure he wasn't in the best of mind coming out of a bar, so yeah. Leave your thoughts, leave a comment. Up to you. But next story here is about the iPad 3G is shipping now. This should be quick. It started shipping a couple days ago, though, a 3G version. So if you guys want to get your hands on this, I'm sure you already know how. Best Buy and Apple stores sell these. You can go in or order them online. The 3G version, obviously the 3G version does have Wi-Fi as well. It's not just 3G. The 16 gigabyte 3G one starts at $629, which is $130 more than the just Wi-Fi 16 gigabyte version. The 32 3G plus Wi-Fi version is $729, and the 64 gigabyte 3G plus Wi-Fi version is $829. So everything is just $130 more than the Wi-Fi price for as far as memory goes. The data plans, you can, for 250 megabytes a month, that is $14.99. So, you know, if you're out downloading a lot of apps, you'd have to download a lot of apps too. You could possibly go through this quickly, I guess. That's only if you buy a lot of apps. If you're just using your iPad out of your house just for web browsing on 3G, this should be fine, no problem for you. 250 megabytes is plenty just for web browsing. And then you can go to $29.99 a month for unlimited data. The good thing about this is that this is basically, it's no contract. It's just pay as you go, really. If you just want a month, you pay for that 1 month. The month is over, your 3G stops, and if you want to renew that, you just pay again. If you don't want to renew it, you don't pay at all. It's a really nice feature to have instead of signing a contract. So, yeah, the 3G version does come with a SIM eject tool, since it does use a SIM card. And as far as putting this on a different network, right now I haven't heard too much about that. Obviously the jailbreak is out for it, so I'm sure very soon we'll be starting to see the iPad on different networks here. Again, I'm not sure if this is on T-Mobile or anything like that. If anybody knows, love to know. Send us an email, leave a comment. So moving on to the clam case. So if you're wondering what the clam case is basically a laptop case for your iPad. I'm sure that makes no sense. It's not exactly an